In 1999, film fans everywhere had multiple questions they wanted answered, such as, is Star Wars The Phantom Menace going to be any good? Is the South Park movie going to be R-rated? What is that big twist from The Sixth Sense that everyone is talking about? What does an apple pie have to do with a teen comedy? These were all really just questions that I had, but mainly the biggest questions of them all was, what is The Matrix? Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon, and I'm your host, Giovany. Today I have a very special video for you where I revisit my favorite film of all time, 1999's The Matrix, after viewing it in theaters last night. This is being my third viewing in theaters of the film after 20 years. AMC Theaters re-released the film for its 20th anniversary, and I was not going to miss the opportunity of seeing it again in theaters. I will be talking about why The Matrix is my favorite film ever, even more so than any individual Star Wars movie, and the recent announcement that a Matrix 4 is in the works from one of the original directors, and will star Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, who played the role of Trinity. Of course, this is big news, but this is especially big for me. But of course, I'm doing a Funko Pop giveaway for one Movie Canon subscriber. I'm giving away the Funko you see on your screen. Follow the instructions from the description of the video. You must have a mailing address within the United States, and make sure to be subscribed to the Movie Canon YouTube channel. We're also playing this game called Buy, Rent, Destroy, and I'll explain how it works. So today I'm also being joined by the Movie Council. It's going to include Ivan.
Yo.
Jessica.
Hello.
Brian.
Hey, what's up?
Jacob.
Hello.
Alex.
Hi.
And for her debut, we have Kelsey.
Hi.
So we are outdoors today. We're in the front yard of some palace. And so with that being said, let's get things moving. Alright, so let's start with this Matrix revisit. So myself, Jacob, and Brian, we went and saw The Matrix in theaters last night in one of those AMC re-releases. And this is the third time that I see it in theaters. And I saw it twice when it came out fucking 20 years ago. But this is the third time I'll be watching it. And there was no way that I wasn't going to miss that. And there is a big difference when you see a movie on the big screen compared to watching, at home, even if you have some amazing surround sound and 4K or the best quality and all that.
There's nothing anybody has at home.
All right, so there's definitely no substitution for the big screen experience. And as being my favorite film of all time, I definitely had to see this. And I definitely do not regret paying $20 on a movie that I already have. I have The Matrix on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, and I never bought like a Laserdisc or anything like that, but basically I have every kind of format of The Matrix. And some people that know me, they might think that some of the Star Wars movies would be my favorite movie of all time, but it's actually this film, the original Matrix, not Reloaded or Revolutions, but this one here. And the reason why I liked The Matrix so much, and it still holds, I feel that it still holds, even though it's 20 years old.
Do you feel like it's a little dated? Do you feel like the effects have dated well or aged well?
There's some parts in it that, yes, they definitely do feel like a little dated. There's one particular shot when Trinity flies into a window at the opening scene.
But it's
it's just one little shot that you can tell, okay, that's 90s special effects. Mm-hmm. But overall, the special effects are still pretty good. It looked fucking awesome on the big screen like we saw last night. The audio, the sound mixing, it's still fucking amazing. And then Dolby, when they fire the guns or the machine guns, you can fucking feel the vibrations. And it was a great experience just to seeing it again in theaters. So ultimately, the reason why I love The Matrix is for all these elements here. Not every single movie, or most movies don't have all these things here. But obviously the main thing is the story, the innovating special effects, especially in 1999, the direction, the characters, the screenplay, which kind of goes with the story, the action, the score, which is scored by Don Davis. He also did Jurassic Park 3, Valentine, X vs. Ever, which are whack-ass movies, but he made this score, and I don't know how he got from The Matrix to those titles there. And then the soundtrack, like the actual soundtrack was really, really good. The Matrix has style and substance, and has a shitload of substance, philosophies, and things like that. So when it comes to the philosophies, I remember reading this section of Plato when it talks about Plato's allegory of the cave. In this allegory, we have these men. They're like prisoners. They're chained up in a fixed position in a cave. These men were born in this cave, but since they're chained up in a certain position, they can only see what's ahead of them. They look towards one direction only. They can't move side to side. They can't explore the cave. They don't even know what's actually within the cave. They can't leave the cave because obviously they're chained up. This is the only thing that they've seen their entire lives, is a wall. The men watch shadows projected on the wall from objects passing in front of a fire behind them and give names to these shadows. The shadows are the prisoner's reality. There's no concept of a shadow. This is the only reality they know, but we know that there's more to this cave. This is one philosophical element the Wachowskis used in The Matrix, and I thought it was brilliant as fuck. So these men are ignorant about the nature of reality because, as Morpheus would say, you have been blinded from the truth. Okay, so that's The Matrix. That's the original one.
Is that The Matrix
And,
or the meaning of life?
Anyways, that came from fucking Plato, from fucking Greek philosopher or whatever.
And not to quote Aristotle. Alright, fuck you guys.
You fucking disappointed. I was actually waiting for something now. So anyway, so that's why I like The Matrix. So so Alex, so how about you? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the original Matrix, Alex? Since you have so many ideas.
I have not seen it in a very long time, so I want to see it again.
Crazy.
But I wanted to ask you.
Although you had the opportunity to see it, remember?
Yeah,
I asked you wanted to see it yesterday, but you
Yes.
had some plans or something.
That's right. I wanted to ask you, how did you feel going back to the theater? Did it hold up again?
I think so.
Think so?
I think so. Yeah, like I said, there's a couple shots that are like, okay, those visual effects are, kind of dated. Just a couple shots, but overall, it still looks good. Did you ultimately like The Matrix when you did see it?
I'm sure I did, but I don't remember. It's so long ago.
Like how long ago?
Probably like 15 years ago.
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
So long time ago. Don't remember much of it.
Did you watch?
Just the iconic stuff, like the iconic scenes and shit like that. And then I confuse it with like if it was the first one or the second one, so I need to rewatch
What was
before
your
I can
favorite
talk about.
iconic scene?
Wasn't there like a slug like in his belly button or some shit like that?
That was the first one, yeah.
Yeah. That I remember very
nasty.
vividly. It was cool.
I always think of it as a shrimp. That's what
Yeah, that's right.
what it
It's
looks
more like a shrimp, yeah. Brian, what did you think about the effects on that little shrimp thing?
Oh, that was amazing.
No, but you know how the effects look? How we saw it on the big screen?
Yeah.
The effects still look good to you?
Like, okay, I understand this movie came out in 1999, so I
Uh-huh.
could sit in a movie theater and still enjoy every scene. It doesn't matter if it's dated, like the
Mhm.
CGI. I still enjoy the fuck out of it. It was amazing.
Actually, I was gonna ask too. Did they refine some stuff for the theatrical re-release,
Did
or
you
is
like
like raw, just like it was
No,
back
they
then?
like you mean like Star Wars special edition that they added scenes?
No,
or
not
something?
like added
Or-
scenes. Like I mean, like did they like
Enhanced it?
refine?
Or
Yeah,
enhance it?
enhance some.
I think
special effects?
the sound effects they might have for Dolby or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, they didn't really make
Yeah.
any other adjustments to it, just so that it could be played in a Dolby screen or whatever. But so Ivan, what are your thoughts on The Matrix when you initially saw it? Because you saw it with me the first time 20 years ago, you and Brian.
Yeah, I remember waiting outside the movie theater, and you and our cousin Danny were super excited about watching it. It was you guys' second time watching it. I remember me and Brian I don't remember even seeing a trailer for it, and you guys just
Oh,
being
shit.
so excited for it. I was thinking like, what? How good is this movie that you guys are seeing it a second time in the movie theater?
That was like the first time you
Yeah,
heard
that
of
was the
anyone
first
watching it a
time,
second
yeah,
time?
We were like 9 years old, 8 years old, and so I was hyped just thinking about how cool the movie was, and I remember we were all blown away with like everything about it, the story, the action, the shots. It was a really great movie, and the soundtrack. Like, I don't like the soundtrack as much nowadays, but when I was a little kid, I liked it a lot.
Oh, I still like it.
Yeah.
Perfect for 90s stuff.
Yeah, like some of the, like the rock.
But I like it because it
fit the
reminds me
movie.
of the film, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was a great movie. The shooting was incredible. So yeah, it's one of my favorite movies as a child.
Brian, since you saw it with me too, first time, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a movie with a great story, great characters. That's like elevated by great CGI. It was pioneering work back then, where they had like 100 cameras in sequence taking
bullet time,
like multiple pictures, and which is what a camera does. But the way they did it was the only way they could do it back in 1999.
Right.
It's a great movie, great story, great characters that's elevated by its special effects. So for me, like, special effects wasn't even like the main component as to why I like the movie. I like the movie because the character Neo, he's the guy that you are. He's the guy that's like, he's always felt that things were, not the way they should be, and that's what I was picking up when I was watching it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking up all these details because when you're watching it in theaters again, it's not the same. It's like amazing watching it in theaters.
Yeah, it's like there was this one shot when one of the agents jumps on the other side of the building, like in the opening scene.
Even that.
And then there's like some like billboard or something that has like gun shop or something like that I've actually never noticed.
Oh yeah.
Until last night.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw it on the big screen. Like,
yeah.
How come I never noticed that shit? I've seen this movie like 100 times or some shit.
And this movie came out in 1999. But if you ask me which movie has the best gunshots, I'll say The Matrix. Like the sound that the guns make.
So Brian, you think it still kind of holds up? This 20-year-old sci-fi movie?
Yeah, of course. It's one of the few movies from 1999 that will hold up longer than any other movie from the 90s. Completely. I mean, it's amazing.
So this is what I thought when I first saw The Matrix, and I don't know if you guys had these questions. Especially you, Ivan, and Brian, that saw the first time with me. So when I first saw it, like the first opening scene, I just had like a shitload of questions. It's like, why is this chick flying in the air for like 5 seconds? Why is Agent Smith saying the whatever chief of police or whatever the fuck, the sergeant or whatever, that
his men are already dead.
Yeah, that fucking line right there. I was like, there's this one girl there was like, okay, what the fuck is going on there? And then especially the part when there's a phone booth and there's this fucking truck that's heading towards her, and then she rushes to the fucking phone booth.
You thought she was dead because
yeah, it's like, why are you running to the fucking phone booth?
Right,
completely destroys the phone booth, completely destroys the building, and then you're like, okay, well that chick is dead. That's what I tried doing this time watching it in theaters. I was trying to take away everything I remember from it and watch it again like I've never seen anything. And it does a really good job. If you go into it blind, not knowing anything, it does a really good job in leading you into the rabbit hole.
Right, so it kind of grabs you right away, and that's kind of like, that's how you really open a movie with some nice, cool scenes.
Can you tell me any movie that has a better beginning, like opening scene than The Matrix? Like anybody?
What?
Are you not paying attention?
Damn,
What the fuck are you doing? What?
Harry Potter?
Well, I was thinking St. Private Ryan.
Oh, no.
No. I'm talking about when you watch
No
it. I'm not
Harry
talking
Potter,
about action-wise. I'm talking about what you're doing sitting in the theater. Like, do you know what the fuck's going on? Okay, it's a really good opening for The Matrix. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of action,
it also
Saving
has
Private Ryan has more action than The Matrix.
It also
Oh,
has
yeah.
Opening scene, yeah.
Oh yeah.
some of the best character introductions.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Harry Potter.
no, I'm talking about like
We haven't started that debate yet.
Morpheus. I like how they tease him a little bit also to Keanu's character Neo. Trinity, she was pretty cool. Like character introduction.
Yeah, and Neo recognizing Trinity's name.
Right.
Like the Trinity?
Yeah.
I always thought you were a man.
Yeah, like everyone thought it was a
Most
guy.
people do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was-
I'm butchering the lines, obviously. But something to that effect.
So how about you, Jacob? Since when did you first saw The Matrix?
That was the first DVD I owned. Was
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah. I think I saw like the VHS copy a long time. Anyways, I watched the shit out of the DVD, so I memorized all the action sequences, like shot for shot. Even in theaters, watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember exactly how it was. But the dialogue sequences, like when they were just talking, those were really cool because I don't remember anything about those. I'm like when Neo talking about Trinity or Morpheus, like they're like these well-known characters online or whatever.
Yeah.
Those were really cool, and just like Morpheus just talking to Neo, telling him what the Matrix might be or what it is.
Yeah.
Those were really cool sequences, and Neo figuring out what the Matrix is,
Uh-huh.
and that whole betrayal sequences was that one bald dude. I totally
Cypher.
I totally got it. Like I don't blame him at all. Like,
So
Yeah, it's like you sympathize in a
like,
way, huh? It's
yeah,
like, yeah, I would
that
rather be in
steak looked
ignorant
really
bliss.
good.
that steak looked good,
that
and
steak
the
was
things that was being
amazing.
offered, I was like, you
Medium
know what? If I
rare.
was given that shit,
Especially
that shit, I
when
would
we
definitely
see
do it.
how the real world is now.
Oh yeah, what was that? Oatmeal, kind of like.
that shit was nasty. What they were eating the chips.
Yeah, that was like an oatmeal thing. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all
like-
they eat.
Just protein. Yeah,
It was
I
sad.
felt bad for them.
I see what you mean though about like because you were born in 2000.
Yeah, I
so-
wasn't even alive when this shit came
So
out.
you remember visually what the movie looked like, but as far as what the story narrative was, this
I don't remember
was
at all
exactly.
anything about that.
So that must have been really cool.
So it was,
for you.
yeah, it was awesome. I'm really glad I was able to see it in theaters, and
Yep.
it was really cool. I don't regret it at all. It was although I'm not gonna hold it against it at all, but some of the effects didn't really age well, like the agents being transformed to like the bum or the lady, or like the bullets going through slow motion. Those didn't age that well. But I
The
don't hold
fact
it.
that it was made in 1999.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
understand, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was going in.
No, but even
expecting
so,
that.
it's not even that bad, though.
Yeah, it's not,
It's
it's
what
not
I'm
that
saying.
bad.
You can't hold it
Exactly.
against it for 1999.
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out in 1997.
The best.
You seen those,
We don't talk about
those
that.
visuals.
Just as a point of reference. Yeah.
So how about you, Jessica? Your experience with The Matrix?
I remember watching it. I thought it was really cool. It's super original. I really do think it stood the test of time. Because especially once you take into consideration when it was made. And again, like you said, Mortal Kombat, like how much worse
With
it
the
could have
worst CGI I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
But no, I think it's been really good. It's super original. I never forget how I felt the first time you meet Morpheus and he's telling you everything that's going on, the red pill or the blue pill, and then when they, I don't know what it is, like a centipede or something that goes in his belly button or something.
Yeah, the little shrimp-looking thing.
I'll
Like
never
I haven't
forget.
said.
I'll never forget how I felt. I was like, oh my
Little
god!
bug.
Like it was like my first horror movie type deal.
Oh,
It
okay.
was horrible, but I thought it was really cool. The graphics and everything. My brother was always super into it.
Yeah.
I was into it, and it was like a fun film that we shared together, and I thought it was awesome. I really liked the
just-
story. It was super interesting.
Yeah, it was it's really like the mythology, like the overall universe that was
Yeah,
created
it's
with
something
the
I've never really
Matrix.
been exposed to in that genre, So it was a cool first.
Right. Yeah. How about you, Kelsey? Your debut here. You just said that you have not seen The Matrix. Do you remember when maybe there were some people that have seen it, or anyone talking about it?
Never.
Or did you know that
Until
there was a
I met
movie
you,
called The
actually,
Matrix?
Until I met you. Then,
Wait, what happened?
until I met you. That's when I actually heard about the movie. Nobody I know
You
really
never
talks
heard of
That's
this
a cool
movie?
source, though. That's a
No,
fun
nobody
source.
ever talks about it.
Oh
But
shit!
you've seen the clips. Like,
No. I don't think so.
He's like, nope. Nope.
Sorry.
Lucky.
wow.
Well, you've seen it now, no?
No.
No, he still
Oh,
hasn't
then-
seen it.
Well, what you've heard, don't you think it sounds awesome?
Well, from what I'm hearing, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It would have been a good idea for you to have seen it with us last time.
But, someone, not anyone.
Shit, well, you failed.
I know. Get on it.
But, yeah, I would totally watch it.
Yeah, it's just one of those movies that's like I wouldn't say that the story is really complex, because it's not really complex,
It's
but
original.
it's
Only
It's
complex.
original.
I mean it's no I mean it is complex, I'm saying, but it's not like something that you can't ever decipher or whatever. Although fucking Matrix Reloaded is fucking confusing as fuck.
I'll say
And that last
nowadays-
scene with the architect.
Nowadays it'd be kind of hard, if it's your first time watching it nowadays, because
You
you have
like your
so much
first
to
time
compare
watching
to it, So it's like you wouldn't get the full gist of it and appreciate it for what it is. But if you keep in the mindset of the time then you could like fully appreciate it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that The Matrix was just like, oh, it's just some sci-fi action movie. Okay, yeah, it is. It has a lot of cool action sequences and all that stuff. But it was just more than that. Like, it was just more than just a story. It was like really layered, and you can really remove all these layers and learn new stuff about it. And you can take it to different directions and all this shit.
It has so many iconic scenes in it that are used in so many things nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of like spoofs from The Matrix. They started using the same kind of bullet time, and they even made this movie called Equilibrium with Christian Bale that came out in 2002. That was like very similar to The Matrix, but and then they did that scary movie scene.
Yeah, definitely set the bar for
the spoof scene with the bullet time stuff. But
wait, what do you think about? So what I've heard about the sequels is that they're not that good, right? So this being your favorite movie, what do you think about the sequels?
Well,
how many are there, first of all?
Before we get to that, I remember watching the ending scene for The Matrix, and it was weird. You're excited for sequels, but you don't even feel the need for a sequel. Like, I remember the very last shot where he's talking into the phone, remember? And he walks out, and then spoilers, I guess.
With Rage Against the Machine background.
Yeah, and then
Wake up.
How dare you say spoilers? It's 20 years.
I know.
He hasn't seen the movie.
That's nobody's
Oh yeah, that's right. She hasn't seen it.
So I'm about to spoil the very last scene where
20 years.
It's
You
not
can't
her
say
fault. It's not
spoilers.
her fault.
It's Cheva's fault.
She wasn't.
That literally is Chevel's
It's
fault.
her boyfriend.
Yeah, it's
Alex's
fault.
fault.
Like I showed Jessica all the great movies from Amistad to Zookeeper, like freaking to all the.
Zookeeper.
Oh, I do like
Zookeeper.
Amistad. I need to watch the movie again, actually.
Says we're yeah, the second one.
Well, you said Zookeeper?
A to Z. I was just joking.
Oh, I was.
I never watched that movie.
Anyways, okay, so I was just saying, like, thinking, like, I have no idea where they're going. I didn't know what the plot would be. Like, there's no, like, enemy that I could think of that, like, was... well, there was enemies, but, like, I didn't know how they were going to pose a threat and stuff like that. And just seeing his capabilities, what he knows now about the Matrix, it was really exciting to see what it could be, but... I don't know. Were you guys hoping for a sequel? Because I wasn't. I was completely satisfied with it.
Here's the thing with this. So, The Matrix is a meal, right? I was full after the first Matrix.
But you want
I was
dessert?
full. But if you offer me a fucking pastry or a dessert that's fucking delicious, then I'm gonna take it.
So wait, so was it delicious? Was the dessert delicious?
Part of it. So The Matrix Reloaded, I did like, but it was nowhere near the level of the original
To this day, anytime
film.
I hear the name Anderson, I'm always like, Mr. Anderson.
Oh yeah,
Like, no matter
yeah,
what.
actually, yeah. I had someone at work. His last name was Anderson, and since I go by the last name, I go, oh, Mr. whatever, Mr. Smith, Mr. whatever. I was like, oh, Mr. Anderson, blah 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 blah.
And then he puts on his Neo
And I was just thinking of that movie the whole time.
Yes, anytime I get that name,
Also-
I'm always like, Mr. Anderson.
Also, I remember when we went to see Lord of the Rings, you said I kept expecting him to pull out his Desert Eagle.
Talking about Viggo Mortensen? No,
No.
not Viggo.
Agent Smith.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Hugo Weaving.
yeah,
Hugo
Hugo
Weaving,
Weaving. Yeah,
yes.
the whole time you were watching
for
that movie, you
Vendetta.
kept thinking like, I just keep waiting for him to say something Matrix.
Mr. Bilbo or what,
What
Mr.
you
Frodo or the fuck,
identify with. Yeah.
some shit
I
like
do that
that.
with
What
any
good
Harry
is
Potter
a
character.
phone call if you're unable to speak?
How about that effect on the mouth?
It was good.
It was still good, right?
That surprised me.
It
That was pretty
still
good.
It was like I
Thank
thought it was
you.
gonna look tacky
Thank you.
on the big
No.
screen.
I was waiting for that too. I was watching. I was like, "This is gonna be one of those super dated scenes." It
Yes.
was not.
That still was pretty
It
good.
was still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was the thing about you know how the Wachowski brothers are now the Wachowski sisters.
Sisters, not siblings.
Well,
They're both.
both-
They went from brothers to sisters to now siblings.
okay. Well, now they're considered siblings, but they did a transition, so now they're women.
They're both.
Were they both?
Both of them.
Oh, yeah.
One of them did it first, and then a couple years later, the other one did it.
So I remember when the first one did it, you were telling me they're the siblings now, and then they went to sisters.
Right.
So now they're what considered? What? So
Well, I think they still call them siblings.
well, last I heard was they said them,
Wachowski siblings.
they said them separately. What's her name?
One of them is Lana,
There's like the Lana Wachowski,
and then I forget what the other one's.
I would go
name
Yeah,
with
they
the
don't even call them-
Wachowskis. Just the Wachowskis.
Yeah,
You don't
so
have to add
so
it.
now, so now they're doing that. So now they're all women now. The brother directors are now women directors. But there was a thing, and do you guys remember the character Switch in the original Matrix?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so that girl, if I remember correctly, the original filmmakers wanted to make her, in the real world, she's a woman, right? But when she enters the Matrix, she's a man. So there was kind of that little, I don't know, foreshadowing of what they were going to do later. But I think it was something like Warner Bros. Didn't want to do that. Like, I don't want to deal with that type of thing in the 90s or something. I don't know. But I think I found that kind of interesting. That would have been cool if they did that.
Yeah.
It would have been kind of bold.
It would have been way ahead of its time.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, but if it would have just been that one, the Matrix movie, just a one shot, that in itself would have been more than it is now, because it has like those other two which have a different feel to them. So if they would have just left it as that, like, it would have made the movie, I don't know, I think way better.
Oh, and then the other thing that I also liked about this movie is kind of like, there's stuff that we don't understand in life, and the Wachowskis used it as an element for their storytelling. Like, for example, deja vu. So it's like you get deja vu, right? It's like,
I
well,
thought that
I've
was
seen this
so
before,
cool.
I've experienced this before.
The glitch.
And then
I agree.
in the Matrix, they
So
explain it as, oh, it's a
glitch.
glitch. That's because they changed something in the code, the Matrix code.
That's definitely something that's
Although something that
Matrix.
something that bugged me was that I kind of wish that as soon as they first got there, he would have seen that cat, and then later he would have seen the cat. It's just in the movie.
Oh, you mean like
they had it happen right then and there, like
oh, like there's a little bit more of a time.
Yes, like yeah, because that's more realistic.
Right. Yeah.
But right there, like I got what they were going with. Like that explains like the glitch. You know what I mean? But I felt like it was a little lazy. I wish they would have shown some like time, like
I
separation.
don't think it was lazy. I thought that was pretty smart, actually. I still really
But
like that.
that's not how
but-
people experience deja vu. Like right then.
No, I understand,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
just
Like,
the
I just
concept
wish they
of
would've-
Raw was.
I do
worked
like
in
that.
well.
Yeah, they did try to go deja vu, explain like a glitch. That makes perfect sense because it's true. Like it's like it makes no sense. You know you've seen that before, and it doesn't feel like you really have. That was really cool.
Eerie.
And then the visual effects that do seem kind of dated for me, like, okay, that's definitely dated, for sure, was when Agent Smith blows up.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
green
yeah.
effect.
So
yeah, green.
that did
Yeah.
feel very dated,
Yeah, a little bit.
The problem with
but
It's endearing.
whatever.
yeah, I saw that movie like maybe like I don't know 4
Spoiler.
years ago, and the reason it didn't bug me is that it makes sense because that's not supposed to happen in the Matrix rules.
Yeah, I
right?
suppose. Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose
yeah,
so.
If you
Yeah.
were to blow up a human, it'd just
Yeah,
be
or like if
guts
you
and
were
shit.
to break a
Yeah.
game, like you're not supposed to like you can't really complain about like if you do something that's not supposed to happen in the game, you can't really complain about the visual effects. You know what I mean? Because that's
Yeah,
not
it's weird.
it wasn't
Foreign.
coded. It wasn't coded for that. So yeah, I get that it doesn't look good, but I always let it not bother me.
That's a convenient excuse for a 1999 movie with the graphics like that. But I get where you guys are coming from.
yeah.
So does anyone else have anything else to say about the original Matrix before I move on a little bit to the sequels?
It kicked ass.
It was amazing, yeah.
Are you gonna watch the original, Kelsey?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you gonna make that happen, Alex?
Yes.
Is it on YouTube? Can I buy it?
No.
Don't watch it on
Alright, I
YouTube.
have
What,
a-
what am I supposed to watch?
Watch it in the best
Watch it on
quality
your
that you
phone.
can.
She's got it 4K.
In fact,
Oh,
you
my
should
phone.
actually come over once and then we'll watch it
Yeah.
Okay.
on my TV
We
on
done watch it
4K.
again.
I'm down.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
It's around-
I may actually watch it in
Surround.
theaters this week if I have time. Again.
Alright, I have a.
I might take Matthew. Matthew hasn't seen it.
I have
in
a
theaters.
question.
This whole weekend it's on?
11?
This whole weekend
It's just 1 week. Well, I think the last showing is on Thursday. I think.
He has a question.
It's going Monday.
Percentage-wise, how much do you feel like you understood completely the Matrix? Me, when I saw it as a 9-year-old, I feel like maybe
5%.
50-60%. I didn't really get the whole point of the what are those things called? Like
Sentinels?
the Sentinels. Yeah, like I didn't really get like they were like the
Like
The gatekeepers?
30%.
Oh, sort of.
30%? I
No,
go-
no, I understood.
I don't think as a 9-year-old you can even get
Yeah, no,
50%.
I did
You
not
have no
grasp
concept
Oh,
of
come
any
on.
of
Yeah.
the
More
There's
credit.
no
Oh
way.
come on!
No.
I wasn't completely
I-
fucking
it-
lost to that movie.
I know, but I
Are you
think
kidding me?
That's what I'm.
They
That's what I'm saying.
fucking
It's not
explain
that
shit.
complex.
No, but, like, you know the bad guy,
because
you
I
know
But-
feel
the
like
good guy.
that's the type of movie where you can watch it now and
Okay,
still
okay,
not
but
get
I'm
it
talking
fully.
about the
Yeah,
depth.
it's-
I'm talking about the depth
Like
to it also.
30%.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say like
like-
70% or 75% or something like that. There's some stuff like the philosophy and stuff
Yeah,
that I
that's what I'm
wasn't,
talking about.
especially in the sequels.
Yeah.
Like when we're talking about that the programs are like have like they start acting like humans in a way.
Mhm.
Like they don't want to get eliminated, deleted, so
Fucking
they
Skynet?
discover love or some
I
shit.
was-
Oh, that was the thing I was going to talk to you about.
Yeah, that's
Skynet. So I think I know the Skynet is Terminator before the Matrix,
You-
but I think the Matrix did this storytelling better than Terminator did.
Yeah, it's more in depth.
Yeah, but I think
Well, because
the
they elaborate on that specifically. Terminator doesn't talk. It's not about Skynet. It's about how they're gonna survive all this bullshit.
Yes.
Well, people in the Matrix are trying to survive too.
No, he's saying that the focus of the focus.
Because
of
the movie's not called Skynet. Like this is the Matrix. It's about the Matrix. But Terminator is about like the
one
char-
aspect of
Yeah.
what could have come from
Taking
after.
us
Skynet's kind of like a character, I think, in those movies.
Like what's that?
But I guess it's the same concept with like a.
It's kind of the same concept. That's what I'm saying. It's I think it was done better in the Matrix, even though it's very similar. But yeah, it gets more in depth with the Matrix. It uses more of it. It gets more detailed about it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I still like Terminators. I mean, Terminator's awesome, and I'm sure I'm gonna
Fuck
watch
yeah.
the next one, Dark Fate. But
Sounds wag.
I think I'm actually
Dark
kind of
Fate?
excited for that.
but anyways,
I'll say.
so about that. So about the sequels. So I was fucking excited as fuck to watch The Matrix Reloaded.
Mhm.
I think I had a class in college where it was a night class, and we didn't have YouTube then or shit like that. So they were releasing like behind the scenes or something like that, like at 7 p.m. So I didn't go to class to watch that special thing. Or
Wait,
whatever.
where were they showing it?
On like one of those network TV shows, like
Also
Access
on
Hollywood.
TV,
or-
on TV.
Yeah, it was like Access Hollywood or something like that. They were showing like the first glimpse of The Matrix Reloaded.
Okay.
And it
What year
like-
was this?
That was like an 02.
Wow.
No. Yeah, it was an 02. Yeah, I was in high school, but I know I was taking a college class in senior year. So that's what that was, because they released it a year before the movie. The movie was still a year away. But The Matrix Reloaded got too confusing. The philosophies got a little too all over the place. That scene with the architect, that was like, what the fuck is he saying? I don't understand what's going on here. But that fucking freeway scene in The Matrix Reloaded,
Oh yeah.
Wait, which freeway scene are you talking?
the freeway scene in wait, what?
They're like on
With the
top of cars and
motorcycle.
shit,
Techno
right?
music.
Yeah.
They're like on top of cars
go,
and shooting and shit.
Repeat it.
Again?
Then when fucking Trinity goes on the opposite direction of the freeway on the
Oh,
shoulder.
Shit.
I remember the Escalade with the katana.
Yeah,
That's like the only thing I remember was from the sequels.
that's like the best scene of the whole movie.
all
I remember a lot of
That's all you gotta know.
Yeah, pretty much.
How many sequels are there?
Two more.
Two
I
sequels.
mean, two sequels.
As of right now,
So there's
Third one's
three.
coming up.
which is a nice segue to.
Well, we don't talk about the other ones, but
No, not you.
What about the third one?
the third one was
What's that one called?
kind of lame.
Revolutions.
That's
Like-
the last one, right?
Yeah, Revolutions, right? The Matrix
As of right
Revolutions
now,
was
yes.
not as good as, definitely not nowhere near the original, but it wasn't even as to the level of Matrix Reloaded.
And they were all written and directed by the same
Yeah,
people?
they were directed by the same Wachowski brothers or whatever.
What happened?
As they
But-
identified themselves at the point that they made it.
So I'm guessing it was all like the studio's idea to make sequels.
Well, yeah, it's always the studio's idea to make sequels. They're the ones making money.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Matrix Revolutions was not as good.
I would imagine.
It
If you had
also-
a masterpiece like that.
It also got a bit confusing too. Like I said, like the fucking machines, like learning to love or some shit with the daughter or something like that. I didn't quite understand
you
the
could tell
whole.
that from the first one, though. He was learning to be afraid. He was learning to hate, complacency. Agent Smith.
Oh, definitely.
So the AIs were learning.
No, I understand that, but I'm talking about like I'm
talking
talking about
about
the whole situation that they had like a family now, and the whole dynamic with like programs, like their purpose, and then I understand that Agent Smith was like a virus, like malware or something like that, and then at the end, Neo basically has to allow Agent Smith to copy himself on me to really copy himself on whatever the fuck.
Yeah, he was a Trojan horse.
Yeah. So and then it just got like kind of like all over the place. And then it's like, well, he had like powers in the real world, but he didn't. I didn't understand that. So I don't know. It was
the whole like
it was messy.
The whole prophecy thing got really messy.
It got messy, and then the actress who played Oracle, then she fucking died, so they had to replace her in
If
Revolutions.
anybody ever had to be replaced, she had the best like option in writing for why she looks different. Oh,
yeah, that was fine.
It's a different, like version software.
Yeah, because she's a program anyway.
Exactly. Well, that's.
But it was still like, it was. Yeah.
I noticed the subtle differences between the two.
Yeah. But I don't know. And then those the ones that really dated is that one multiple Agent Smiths.
Oh,
fighting Neo.
Yeah,
Oh my!
That was really
scene,
dated.
Okay, that scene went from like the most epic scene ever when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
It went from like, okay, this is the greatest scene of all time. How will they ever top this one Matrix scene? To me, watching it now and laughing my ass off because he looks like a clay model versus like he's all sweaty in
But
real
in a
life.
way, it's like you love it though. Like it's like
I'm the same way.
good
As
kind
a
of
kid
hurt.
watching
Scene
that,
where-
that was the
where
best
he
scene ever.
sticks like a pole in the ground. He's like spinning.
Yeah.
And they all look like really rubbery and
It's
weird.
That was
like
badass.
So ridiculous.
That was
it's like,
badass.
You can't help but love it though.
Rubbery.
Like, it's the best.
They look like
I said
fucking-
Play-Doh, but
That's like
rubbery
in the-
works
rubber.
better.
That's
yeah.
on the same level of like
It's
the
so
Harry
amazing.
Potter Sorcerer's Stone, like the first Quidditch match.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
bad.
That's a good
bad.
point.
That's
It's not that
bad.
bad, though.
That's pretty bad.
It's not that
It's
terrible.
pretty
It's
bad.
not terrible, but it's bad.
No,
And
it's not.
segue
You
to- no, I'm
can't-
kidding.
you can't- I'll get myself already.
No.
Please.
Box of
The
lips
biggest,
on.
my
Take me up.
favorite thing of the Matrix sequels was the hype of watching them.
You got this, Ron.
So wait. So I have a
Seeing the
question.
trailers.
So how disappointed were you with the second one when you left the theater, or were you like, kind of trying to?
Still process.
No, were you trying to like justify because you love the first one so much? Were you
Are
trying?
you asking me or Ivan?
No, you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The first glimpse that it was already not meeting the standards of the original was when Neo begins fighting with the agents.
Yeah, that was
When he starts fighting them,
like no.
and then he's just like whatever, like there's no sound really. Like he's just like whatever, like okay, just playing here. But in the original, the fight was loud, like you can feel the effects of the hit, the punch, and stuff like that. You can tell the difference. Like in the sequel, they're just like, oh yeah, just a little thump, 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 and then that was it. So I was like, okay, so something's off. I guess he's more powerful now. I guess that makes sense. But it lost its effect of the original already, just on that alone. And I don't know, like the whole Zion thing was fine, I guess, but I didn't really care too much. Like when they were there in Zion, I was like, whatever about it. Like it wasn't
The fuck is Zion?
that interesting. Okay, well, right.
Oh my god.
The
On that note.
The last
last human city, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you remember what happened to that guy? The guy that survives in the original Matrix, the brother?
Tank.
Tank. Yeah, there you go.
Tank?
What is the Tank? Yeah, Tank.
I love that
Tank's
guy.
survived.
Yeah, they were. He was doing his contract, like, to be in the
He
sequels.
wanted more money.
He wanted more money.
Oh my god.
And he's like, all right, well, we'll get someone else later.
Easy.
Never seen him again,
Damn.
ever. At least I haven't seen him.
I like-
And
I
Oh,
like
the
Tank.
actor, you mean?
the actor, yeah,
He was cool.
yeah. I mean, he was cool. I liked him,
He was cool.
and I didn't care for the new one and the second and third one, but
Me too.
it's like, why didn't you do that? I mean, you haven't done shit since the
No.
original Matrix. But Cypher was cool. The
Cypher
original.
was cool. Understandable.
Cypher was fucking cool. And like I said, you sympathize, you feel how he was feeling. It's like, look, just asking you guys. So, would you take the blue pill or the red pill?
Red pill every day.
What does what?
Okay, so the blue pill,
Yeah, you should ask.
the blue pill lets you stay where you're at.
Fairy world.
In the Matrix.
You don't know what the real world
You just
is.
wake
Right.
up.
Every day is normal.
The red pill is when you get
Wake
free.
up. You
You
get
are
woke.
removed from the Matrix. You are actually in real life and reality. So that's the
I
red
don't
pill.
want to say that.
You get woke with the
So which one would you take,
Woke.
Jessica? Blue or red?
For sure, red. Stay woke. I'm just kidding.
Stay
I
ignorant?
remember for your birthday,
No,
I
that's
made
blue
you
pill.
your Matrix cake and cupcakes. Do you
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
That was a nice segue to
Bunch
the
of the-
cupcake talk.
What
Just
cupcake
saying.
talk?
Upgrades.
But yes, red always.
Okay, so you want to stay in fake
I'll
reality,
take the hard truth
or in the
over
Matrix?
a nice lie.
What's the blue pill?
And you, Ivan?
Fake reality.
Hold on, now she has me confused. What are the
The
pills?
The red pill is you find out what the Matrix really is. You find out that you're a pill, you're a battery.
You are liberated.
Blue pill, you go back, you wake up, you're still Mr. Anderson. You go to work, you know.
You're still in the
still
Matrix.
living in the Matrix.
You still live in ignorance.
I'll always take the truth over a lie.
Wait. So what state are you in when you take it?
You're in the blue
You're in the
pill.
blue pill.
You're in
Which
the
is what?
You're in La
Like
La
The
Land.
blue
like we're
pill,
living right
the
now?
blue pill, you stay in the Matrix.
You're in
The
your
red pill,
whatever
you
world
get
you're
out of the
And in the
Matrix.
Ignorant
Matrix,
is
what?
bliss.
The Matrix, you're in real life. You're in reality.
Okay.
You're not blinded by,
The
the Matrix code.
light wrapped up.
and that's why the reality is crappy. That's why you're like.
It goes
fucking-
back to that Plato allegory you're
Yeah.
referencing earlier.
So like
cave.
you leave the cave. You leave the cave. It's like Plato's allegory. It says that you're just chained up. You just see what you are shown.
Right.
You don't explore anything. You don't learn anything else. You're out of, or you're still inside. You're still trapped. You're still a prisoner, pretty much. That's the red pill. And the
Okay.
blue pill is you are liberated, but you're in crappy reality.
You see things how they really are, like raw.
How they really are, right? Even though it's crap, it's shitty, but that's reality. That's what it really is. Or if you want to be like Cypher said, ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't know, just live your normal life, do whatever. What would you do, Alex?
Are you a Cyrus or are you a Neo?
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. It's good right there.
I don't know which one's which, but I mean, of course, I would want to know.
After all the explanation, I don't know
No,
which one's
I mean,
which.
like, no. You said Cypher or Neo. I don't know which one, who took what. That's
Cypher
what I mean.
Cypher took.
Don't tell me. Don't tell
No,
me.
no, no.
Don't tell me.
Okay, okay.
There was a purple pill, and I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'll take
I took
both.
an Advil.
Be in the middle.
Ibuprofen was
I
on
called
the
it a
table.
day.
Be in the middle of
Shit.
Yeah, I think I would want to know.
Red pill.
it. Okay, so she would take the red pill, Kelsey.
They both sound shitty to me, so I really don't know.
They do
They
both.
both are
They
shitty,
both sound
though.
really negative.
That's what the
but
movie illustrates.
But that's the whole- that's
the
the-
movie.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the point.
So you might as well just know.
Yeah.
They're both
Boom.
no,
shit.
no. But what do you? What do
Okay,
you
so
benefit?
so Cypher, look,
know.
Cypher took the red pill, and then he regrets taking the red pill, and now he wants to go back to the Matrix and be ignorant, and have his memory completely wiped,
Okay, but
and then come
okay.
back to.
So what's the negative of knowing everything is that you just can't handle it.
Everything
Yeah.
is shitty, though. You know everything, but the whole real world is shitty.
The whole world is fucked up. It's,
But-
it's
but
ruled by
Are
machines.
you more like powerful because
No.
of that?
No.
Like just
No,
because
you're not-
of your
not at all.
knowledge, or
You're
You just
basically
know
living
that
in
you're free.
reality.
You'll be that psycho person on the street that's like,
Yeah.
we're not living in the real world, man.
Pretty much. Except everyone is like that. Everyone has signs.
why would I do? No, I don't want to do that. I'd ra-
So you'll take the fucking.
but then when
you
you
take the
say
blue
when
pill
you say
then.
it's just like being chained up and looking like
Sarah
when you
wants to
when
go
you
to
paint it like
Kansas.
that, like at the same time it's like
Oh, because technically, yeah, in the real world, the machines have you in this little container, whatever the fuck, with goo and liquid and shit, and then you're all connected to like some system
Yeah.
that gives
that feeds you
that
information.
feeds gives energy to the machines, which let them survive.
So okay, well I have a question about that. Do you have? Is it like truly free will, or is it like everything's already set, like already coded about what's gonna happen?
Oh,
to
that's
you?
another fucking debate.
I know this.
That's
shit is-
another fucking thing right
this is a
there.
review, not a fucking like the Matrix in 5 minutes.
Who was Neo?
This
at
is
5
what I'm
years old?
saying.
You
Like the
would've had
Matrix
to
is like this.
But what is
There's like so much shit. It's like
can't
that's a
pick.
whole video
I
on
can't
just
pick
that question you
because
just
I
asked
pick
right now.
one.
I can't pick
Just
because
pick
I feel
one.
like I'm missing pieces.
Take
I
both,
feel like I'm
man.
not. I'm missing.
Just
pieces.
watch the movie again next time. Just come over and we'll watch it. Kelsey too.
Cocktail.
All right. So
Fucking Morpheus.
so anyone else have any other questions or comments of the original or Matrix sequels?
Comments.
Comments?
I remember going to see X2 and being more excited about seeing the Matrix Reloaded trailer. Even though X2 was an amazing movie. That's how hyped I was for...
Oh, because X2 came out right before
Yeah.
Reloaded. So you saw the trailer?
Yeah, and I remember a lot of my schoolmates were talking about... they saw the trailer and they were more excited about that than
The actual movie?
the actual movie they went to see. X2.
Damn. Well, the X2 was fucking awesome.
X2
too.
was
X2, I know.
amazing.
I'm just saying X2 was amazing, but everyone was so hyped about the sequel to the Matrix. That's what most people were talking about. Also, got a funny story about Bryan and another cousin.
Who's this Bryan you're talking about?
You.
What was the story? I think I've heard this
It's
before.
unnecessary here.
That's
Let's
unnecessary.
move on to the next.
All right then. All right. So let's move on to something else then. All right.
It's gonna make it worse if you don't tell.
All right.
them
So
now. Jesus.
with
They're gonna be thinking all kinds.
so
of
here's the situation. When I heard that they were gonna re-release The Matrix, I've heard that they were going to do a reboot of The Matrix,
The fuck?
where they were just gonna reboot it, or I don't know if it was gonna be rebooted or if they were going to like continue the same story but not have Neo and Trinity and Morpheus, and they just have like a whole new group of people in the Matrix, like a reimagining, or
Reimagine. Oh no.
I guess so. I guess it could be still a sequel. It
Reboot?
could still be a sequel, but
would there have been a movie if Neo took the opposite pill? Would there have been
No.
like this whole movie? No.
There was a Matrix game where you play out the whole movies, and you can take the blue pill, and then he wakes up in his bed.
Mr. Anderson.
And then the game's over.
Oh, it was just a dream.
Yeah.
what was the name of that game again? I just saw
Path
it.
of Neo.
Path of Neo.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
Had
it.
that
So,
That was like an Xbox.
so he would have
360
just
or
kept,
no Xbox.
he would've just
PS2.
kept living his
Oh,
normal
PS2,
life,
okay.
and I think whatever came out.
I had that
The
game.
credits roll.
Yeah, it rolls right
That's
there.
fun.
Yeah, but no, there'll be no fucking movie if he takes the fucking red pill.
Blue pill.
It's
Blue
somebody
pill.
else's story.
You still don't know it. Jesus.
Oh
Hey,
fuck, the blue pill.
You always
Oh,
get that
you're
mixed
so
up,
Matrix.
but you say
The
that's your
blue
favorite
pill.
movie.
You do.
You
Guys.
say it's your favorite movie. You always get that mixed up.
Why is it?
Yeah, I get mixed up all the time.
I always knew that.
Is it a big deal because Neo's the first person to take the blue
No.
pill?
No.
Jesus
Or
Christ,
you're
Joe,
just
what's the
following Neo's
Watch
character?
the
You really
movie.
need to watch the fucking movie.
Watch
again.
the movie.
Anyways, so they announced that, and they had said that they were thinking that they were going to cast Michael B. Jordan as the main character. No,
Morphe? Why would you say that? What makes you say that?
no, it's not a reboot. Boot. It was more like a sequel to, but just not having the original characters. So Michael B. Jordan was supposed to be in it, and
And Sam Jackson is Morpheus?
God.
No,
heard
Morgan
about
Freeman
these.
would be Morpheus.
anyways, so they didn't take that route, obviously, because then they announced that they're making The Matrix 4 with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, who plays Trinity, and one of the Wachowski siblings, now sisters, whatever. Now one of them is actually directing and co-wrote the script, so now they're going to start filming next year in 2020 for The Matrix 4. And Lawrence Fishburne, who plays Morpheus, he hasn't actually signed on yet, but I mean, he may end up doing it later. But so that's what they have for The Matrix 4. So
Is that all we know about it? We don't know if it's like, if it's gonna be one of those things where they ignore the
no,
sequel.
because Keanu Reeves is in it. Neo is going to be in it,
No, but I'm saying, like, is it one of those things where,
like Halloween.
yeah, like where they ignore movies
No,
that
no,
happen?
no. It's a sequel. It's a straight up sequel.
Oh.
So it's The Matrix 4, and hopefully it's much better than Revolutions. But
What do you think? What direction do you think they can go?
I don't know. I think they could do a lot of things. They could just reboot the Matrix, and I don't know.
Just have new characters?
I suppose, or maybe they'll go more into philosophical, fucking philosophy or something, philosophical shit or something. I don't know. But I mean, I'll be seeing it for sure. But yeah. Any other comments for anything Matrix?
You think you would have liked The Matrix as much if Will Smith would have been Neo?
Oh shit, that's right. That's a good thing. So originally, Will Smith was supposed to play Neo, and he turned it down because they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna do Wild Wild West."
Pendejo.
The fuck is that?
Exactly.
Oh, wow. He even has a rap song with that. The Wild Wild
That
West.
movie sucks.
When I'm
And then-
rolling in the Wild
And then
Wild
what
West.
usually came out is that Jada Pinkett Smith, who is married to Will Smith, was trying to convince him to take the role of Neo. It's a good script. It's a good
Stupid
idea
ass.
for you. And he said no. And Jada Pinkett Smith was like, "Well, fuck it. I want to be in the Matrix." So she was in the Matrix Reloaded and the Matrix Revolutions. But Will Smith was not Neo. And I don't know
Probably because it had Salma Hayek in it.
who.
Salma Hayek, Wild Wild West.
Oh, and Wild Wild West.
Yeah,
I thought about the Matrix.
No, it's probably because he thought there was like big names in it, and like it was gonna be
he probably got paid more. He was probably about the paycheck. I'm like, well, this movie's gonna pay me more, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, big names are in this movie.
Yeah, so it's like, I'll get paid $20 million. I'll get paid $5 here.
Wild Wild West.
Yeah, remember that movie?
Heard of that
Summer
fucking
hike
shit.
and, like,
Damn.
It's
guys,
on
like,
TBS one time, it
bad
sucked.
guys purple.
Yeah, it
I've
was.
never even
Right.
heard of
It's
this.
Jackie Chan. Oh, no.
Jackie
What the hell am I
Chan.
thinking of? I think it was Shanghai Noon.
Damn.
But
Cut that
still.
part out.
Jet Li?
I know, right? It has him in it.
All right, okay, so.
Everyone's there.
But yeah, so ultimately, Matrix still my favorite film of all time. I give it an A+.
Damn.
What else have you given an A+?
Oracle and all.
Other movies I've given A+.
None.
No,
Are you hesitant?
Toy Story.
Are you hesitant because you don't want to put something on that same level?
It's really hard for me to put give a movie an A+.
What do you
Dark
think? What
Knight.
about Dark Knight? I was
The
gonna
Dark
say.
Knight's an A.
What do you?
A solid A.
That's true.
But I wouldn't say A+. But solid A, really fucking good too.
Saving Private Ryan.
I think Saving Private Ryan's like an A-.
Damn.
Yeah, but I know Toy Story, the first Toy Story, A+. Yes. And I can't think of anything else. Maybe Lion King, the cartoon, the animated. A+, Lion King.
The animated 2019 one.
No, the animated 1994 one.
I know.
But yeah, so the very few movies that are up there. Very few.
So that's your favorite animated movie of all time?
Toy
Lion
Story?
Well,
Toy
it's those two, Toy Story and Lion King.
Good
It
choices.
depends on CGI or traditional animation. But yeah, so that's it for the Matrix commentary or podcast, whatever. So that's going to conclude this. Thank you very much, Ivan, Bryan, Jacob, Kelsey, and Alex for participating in this particular video. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for that Funko giveaway. Follow me on Instagram, The Movie Canon. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And I'll see you guys next time.
You.
And follow me on The Real OJ Simpson.